Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So this will be the last video that I post today. I did one more art piece for my portfolio in Photoshop. This time I wanted to just let loose and do something really whimsical for my portfolio. I wanted some plant life, just a little bit of an Alice in Wonderland type of thing. You know, I got a little girl reading a book. She's chilling on a typewriter, and there's books, there's a bird, there's mushrooms, there's butterflies. I put a lantern in there and wanted everything to feel like things are bigger than they should be, or some things are smaller than you would think, and like the proportions are just like a little wonky, you know. And I try to make sure to add like shadows, and I played with some of the, like I did a little filter on there, played with some of the lights and stuff, and added a light source behind the lantern. I adjusted some of the colorations, you know, of a couple of the items here. So the first thing I did was I went on Pexels.com, where you can get royalty-free images, and I found all of the images I wanted to use for the piece, and then one by one I cut them all out, and you'll see me just cut them out. It's gonna look kind of chaotic in the video, but I like to use the quick mask tool when I'm cutting in Photoshop. That's my favorite way to cut things out. Sometimes I'll use a lasso tool or magnet tool. Sometimes I'll use subject select, but every single time I use a tool, I always go in with quick mask to clean up my edges. Subject select is an interesting tool that they added, I want to say a couple years ago, but it's not perfect, and the edges are always kind of rough, you know, especially around the hair. So I like to go in and just clean my edges up, you know. Another tool I like to use, especially on a solid background, is I'll grab my wand tool, I'll right click on it, and I'll click color range, and I'll select those solid colors, and I'll click around, and I like to make sure my fuzziness is set to 100, and then I'll exit the window and you can see the selection. But then again, I'll go into quick mask and I'll clean everything up before I pop out and hit delete. A lot of people have different ways of cutting things out, and that's just my favorite way to do it. Yeah, it takes a little longer, but I like to be really precise with my cuts. Another thing I've learned over the years, whenever you're dealing with like hair or fur, if you will zoom in quick mask and grab your smudge tool, you can flick your mouse, or if you're using a tablet, you can use your stylus, but you can flick outwards and inwards and create a nice soft feathered effect on the hair. It works really great with curly hair and like animal fur. I used it on the bird for the little tufts of hair coming off of it. In another image that I'm going to put in my portfolio, I cut out an African American woman with really curly hair because I wanted to showcase that I could do clean cuts and make the hair look natural. So I did it on her curly hair as well. I didn't record that. That was just another thing I did for my portfolio, but I just want to put that out there, that it's a nice hack for making things look nice and neat, and not, you know, like if you're cutting around someone's hair, you don't want it to look like it was cut with scissors. You know, you don't want it to look like a sticker. You want it to look natural, like they belong in whatever background you're putting the subject on top of. Another thing I did for this piece was I grabbed a photo of some grass, some like nice close-up picture of some grass, and I used a feathered brush and erased the sky from it, and I very lightly tapped around the grass blades just to make it look like the images were sitting in grass and like they were part of the scene and not just stickered on top of the scene. And doing things like that plus adding shadows really helps sell the effect. Another thing I did was around the outer edge of the typewriter and the girl, I used the blur tool, and I just went around the edges of both of those images because they looked a little too sharp for me, and I wanted them to feel just a little bit more blurry so that they looked like they were part of the scene as well. I took a close-up picture of some leaves and I put them in the foreground, and I did a Gaussian blur on those to really sell that like depth of field in the image. And I think that's all I did. I really liked putting in the butterflies. I liked having the big giant butterfly in the front and then that tiny little butterfly in the back. The image for the background that I used had these like stone heads, and I thought they were really cool, and I put a butterfly like on one of the stone heads. Overall, I think it turned out really cute, and I think it'll be a wonderful addition to my portfolio. It not only shows that I'm really good at cutting things out, but I can place these images on this background and make them look cohesive in a whimsical kind of way, you know. The mushrooms and all the pieces that I utilized sell the idea that it is meant to be whimsical, and it's not meant to all be like proportioned correctly, you know. So that was kind of my thought process behind the whole piece. I really miss using Photoshop. I hate that this is only a 7-day trial. I really want to purchase the whole, like, I want to do a subscription and just keep it. I know if I were to get a job in the field that I want, and my husband would go ahead and say, yeah, let's purchase it because you'll need it for work. But I know he's not going to let me do it just to play around with as a hobby for my YouTube channel. He would have to see some kind of financial gain from using the software. But I love using this stuff. It's what I did every day at my old job at the Paris News. I used Photoshop all the time to manipulate photos or clean people's faces or whiten people's teeth, cut people out for the magazine or other subjects or objects for the magazine, you know. I love using InDesign. I can't wait to actually start putting my portfolio together in InDesign. Currently, I'm just working on the individual pieces, and once I get everything wrapped up, then I'm going to start putting it together in InDesign and just really let that graphic design background shine through, and just mess around with all of the template ideas that I have in my head. I took my sketchbook and I drew out kind of what I wanted it to look like, and it may not end up like my drawings, but it gives me some inspiration to kind of get the ball rolling. And then as I'm piecing things together, how things look, I might change them around, but yeah, it's always good to have a thumbnail drawing of something that you're working on, just so you can give yourself a starting point, you know. And that's not just with drawing traditionally or digitally, but also for graphic design, drawing out like your ideas in your head in a quick sketch. It's good for the visual. It's good to have that. Oh my gosh, I'm just getting more and more excited the more that I do, you know. I really want to get one of these jobs I've applied for, and I've applied for so many. I can't even keep track of them all, but I could tell you some of them. I applied for a coloring book app called Happy Color. They're looking for an illustrator. I've applied for an enamel pen company looking for an illustrator to draw enamel pens designs. I applied for a Texas Oncology. They're looking for a graphic artist. I imagine they're going to want someone doing their advertising and staying on their brand. I have actually worked with Texas Oncology before when I worked at the newspaper, so I know exactly what they like to do for their advertisements, and I had to reset one of their ads in the past so that it looked good in our magazine, because the file that they sent over was low quality, so I had to, you know, recreate it, and ended up matching it so well that they like approved it through their compliance department, so that was really good. I applied for a biotech company. What they do is they do training for like pharmaceutical companies and doctors' offices, and they're looking for graphic artists to create the training programs, PowerPoints, brochures, pamphlets, things like that. Again, I can do all that stuff. So and that's just scratching the surface. I have applied for like 40 plus jobs in the last month, and I have been rejected by a few already. I haven't had an interview yet, and I haven't had a portfolio to send, you know. So I wish I had downloaded InDesign a long time ago, but I'm glad that I did it now. Just, it's better late than never. And you should always have a portfolio when you're looking for something in the art field. Also, I do want to apologize for how windy it's been in these last 3 videos. I'm like literally having to do all my voice recording outside, which I usually do my recordings outside anyways. It's just a little bit windier today than normal. My family's inside watching TV, and I don't want to bother them, and there's nowhere in the house that I can record in private, so I have to go outside where I'm alone and I won't get background chatter or TV noise. But the con is you guys get wind noises, and I'm sorry about that. Also, it's like freezing cold out here, and I am like freezing my fingertips off, so you know. I suffer for you guys. Anyway, thank you so much for all the comments on the last 2 videos, the well wishes, y'all rooting for me to get any job. Any job. Thank you so much. Y'all are all so sweet and kind and amazing. I'm really glad that we're all friends, and you know, I don't expect everybody to watch all my videos, so don't feel like you're obligated to do any of that. Like I said, I'm in a posting mood right now, and since I'm doing all this artwork back to back, I've just been recording it as I go. And sometimes I post a lot and sometimes I post a little. There's never any rhyme or reason. There's never any schedule. Y'all know that. So anyway, y'all have a great rest of your day. It's like 9 o'clock at night. I think I'm actually going to take a break, and I'm going to post this video, and then I'm going to relax and warm up in the house and play some video games. I recently started playing BioShock. I watched my friend George from Gaming My Whole Life on YouTube. Y'all go check him out. He did a BioShock gameplay review, and it was so fun to watch. And I went and bought the collection when it was on sale for $10 on the Switch, so on the eShop, you know. So I started playing it, and I really love it. It's really fun. The graphics are beautiful. I've got it set to easy mode because y'all know your girl sucks at video games, so I gotta play my games on easy. But yeah, it's been a blast. I think I'm like maybe almost halfway through the game now. It's only been a couple of days because I can't put it down. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go play some video games. You guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.